Imagine a stage where the spotlight not only reveals your external image, but also illuminates the deepest essence of who you are. It is in this scenario that Beyoncé, the true queen of authenticity, invites us to embark on a seductive journey of transformation, a journey that uses life lessons to awaken our most intense emotions, break down barriers, and drive us to action. It all began when Beyoncé realized that living for others was like hiding behind a broken mirror. She knew that to achieve the victory of authenticity, she needed to transcend imposed standards, face her fears, and reinvent her own narrative. With life lessons, she not only presented her story, but turned it into a sensory experience that awakens the senses. Every beat of her music, every gesture on stage, every word spoken with conviction echoes the passion of an ancestral legacy that refuses to be erased. In this process of self-discovery, emotional triggers become tools of power. Think about the feeling of waking up early, of feeling your heart beating with the desire to start over, of looking in the mirror and seeing not a distorted reflection, but the vibrant image of someone who knows exactly what they want. Beyoncé experienced this liberation when she broke with the mentality that prevented her from being true to herself. She chose to love herself without reservations, transforming criticism and comparisons into fuel for her own evolution. It is at this precise moment that life lessons work their magic. They invite you to feel each emotion intensely, to let the sensuality of your own essence manifest itself. Imagine a scenario where ancestry mixes with modernity, where the drums of history beat in sync with the accelerated rhythm of the present, creating a unique melody that resonates in every fiber of your being. This is the experience that Beyoncé offers us, an irresistible invitation to break the chains of conformity and embrace authenticity with passion and boldness. Now stop for a moment and reflect. How many times have you allowed yourself to be limited by fear or the need to please others? How many times have your insecurities spoken louder than your potential? Beyoncé teaches us that true power lies in allowing yourself to be vulnerable, in recognizing that every challenge, every fall is a step towards greatness. She shows us that authenticity is not just a state of being, but a courageous decision to live without masks, to transform pain into learning and doubt into motivation. The message is clear. The victory of authenticity is within reach of all who are willing to look within and rescue the inner child, that part of you that dreams without limits and is enchanted by every possibility. It is time to break with the old self, to abandon excuses and embrace transformation. Life Lessons invites us to explore this journey in a sensorial and emotional way, allowing every detail, every emotion, to become a firm step towards a full and meaningful life. Feel the intensity of this moment. Imagine your life filled with actions that reflect who you really are. Visualize yourself overcoming barriers, breaking mirrors that distort your image, and becoming the protagonist of your own story. It's not just about changing the way you see yourself. It's an internal revolution that is reflected in every choice, in every achievement. It's time to take action. Stop waiting for motivation to arrive, create it. Stand up, take a deep breath, and take the first step toward a new reality. Do as Beyoncé did. Turn challenges into opportunities, failures into lessons, and criticism into fuel for your growth. Your authenticity is your greatest weapon. Use it to rewrite your story and inspire those around you. And now I invite you, share in the comments what is the first step you will take to live your truth without fear. Let this contagious energy invade your day and transform each obstacle into a chance to shine even brighter. Remember, true victory lies in being true to yourself and living with passion, courage, and authenticity. If you are ready to transform your life, join us on this journey of self-love and empowerment. Challenge yourself to be better than yesterday and allow every beat of your heart to be a reminder of your inestimable value. The stage is yours. It's time to step up and star in the story you've always wanted to tell. Together, let's break the mirrors, reclaim our essence, and light the flame of transformation. Your authenticity is the key to an extraordinary life, and the power to change everything is within you. The time is now. The decision is yours. Be bold, be true, and, above all, be yourself. Imagine a young Beyoncé before the spotlight and the international stage, standing in front of a mirror that reflected not only her image, but also the doubts and limitations that the world tried to impose on her. At that very moment, she was faced with a transformative choice: to work tirelessly to achieve her dreams, or to settle for the excuses that would silently keep her trapped in a mediocre destiny. This was the awakening of choice, a turning point where life's lessons became her guide, and each decision became an act of courage. At that moment, as the first chords of a melody that had not yet been written echoed within her, Beyoncé felt the urgency to break with conformity. She realized that living to meet other people's expectations was like hiding behind an opaque veil that distorted her true potential. Instead of accepting the imposed limits, she decided that she would be the architect of her own destiny. This decision was not just a change of attitude, it was a silent cry that awakened the strength of her essence, a strength that many underestimated, but that she could already feel pulsing in every beat of her heart. Using life's lessons, Beyoncé understood that challenges, no matter how difficult they were opportunities in disguise. Each obstacle, whether it was the pressure to fit into pre-established standards, the critical looks that insisted on diminishing her shine, or the constant comparisons with other artists, was transformed into fuel for her personal transformation. She learned that difficulties are an integral part of the growth process, and that often the price of evolution is paid with sweat, tears, and above all, courage. And it was precisely at this point that the emotional triggers came into action. The feeling of urgency, the accelerated pulse when facing the unknown, and the determination not to let fear be greater than the desire to change. Feel the power of this choice. Imagine waking up every day with the conviction that every small effort, every sacrifice, is an investment in your future. Beyoncé did just that. She transformed the simple act of waking up into a sacred ritual, where each morning was a new chance to reinvent herself. The energy she channeled in this moment was contagious. It was as if, when she looked in the mirror, she saw not only a talented young woman, but a warrior ready to face the world and write her own story. And here is the call to action. Ask yourself right now, what are you willing to do to transform your life? Are you ready to break free from excuses and embrace the journey of self-discovery and overcoming? Just like Beyoncé, you can decide today that your destiny is in your hands. Don't wait for motivation to magically appear. Create it, nurture it, and allow it to lead you towards a future of achievements. Every decision you make in that first step has the power to change not only your trajectory, but also to inspire those around you. By committing to change, you are not only transforming yourself, but also contributing to a larger movement. A movement of people who refuse to live in the shadow of their fears and who decide with all their might to pursue the life they have always dreamed of. It is this energy of transformation that makes Beyoncé's story so powerful, and that it can be applied to any context of overcoming. Visualize the scene. Young Beyoncé, her eyes shining with determination, decides that she will no longer accept the limits that others try to impose. She understands that true freedom begins the moment you allow yourself to choose to be better than yesterday, to choose to grow even in the face of adversity, and above all, to choose to believe in your own potential. By making this choice, she not only changed her own story, but also became a beacon of inspiration for millions, showing that true success is born from the courage to reinvent yourself. Life lessons act as an emotional and practical map, guiding each decision based on real experiences and the wisdom acquired along the way. They teach that the first step towards transformation is the courage to face your fears, to leave your comfort zone and to commit to your own development. And that is exactly what Beyoncé did. She embraced her challenges, used them as a lever for growth, and in doing so, built a legacy of authenticity and overcoming. Now, imagine if every person could awaken this same inner strength. Imagine a world where, instead of settling for excuses, everyone decided to stand up and fight for what they really want. This is the invitation that Beyoncé's story makes to us, an invitation for you to allow yourself to dream big, to see difficulties not as insurmountable barriers, but as steps that will take you to unimaginable heights. And so I ask you, what is the first step you will take today to transform your life? Let this reflection penetrate your heart and light the flame of change. Share your decision in the comments, inspire others with your story, and remember that every little effort counts. The power is in your hands, and the choice to fight for what you truly deserve is the first step towards an extraordinary life. Get up now, take a deep breath, and allow life's learnings to guide you on this journey of self-transformation. You have the potential to be more, to achieve more, and to live a life that truly reflects the greatness that exists within you. The time to act is now. Don't wait for an uncertain tomorrow, when today already offers every chance to rewrite your story. Imagine Beyoncé, already awakened to the importance of choosing her own path, now facing the challenge of transforming excuses into action. After recognizing that living for others was a distorted mirror of her true essence, she faces a new obstacle, the justifications that arise at every moment of inaction. Instead of allowing herself to be paralyzed by these thoughts, she decides that each excuse is, in fact, an invitation to act. On a silent afternoon, as the sun set and the shadows of the past tried to convince her that it was not worth the risk, Beyoncé felt the urgency to change her internal narrative. With life lessons as her guide, she understood that excuses, those that tried to justify stagnation, would be nothing more than barriers if she did not transform them. Every "I can't" would become an "I will try," and every "I can't" would be rewritten as "I will find a way." In her studio, among notebooks filled with notes and ideas, she reflected on the times when she hid out of fear of failure. She realized that while some saw failure as the end, she began to see it as an essential step towards growth. This change in perspective did not happen overnight. It was the result of a continuous process of self-knowledge and redefinition. She understood that time does not wait, and that every minute spent accommodating excuses was one less minute to build the life she wanted. Life lessons acted as an emotional catalyst. Instead of giving in to the comfort of justifications, she embarked on a journey of action. The emotional triggers, the anxiety of seeing her dreams slip away, the vibrant feeling of wanting to achieve something great, the warmth in her chest when imagining a transformed future, mixed with each new decision she made. Beyoncé learned that the energy accumulated in excuses can be redirected to propel her towards change. Imagine the scenario. A young Beyoncé staring at her own reflection, aware that every excuse was an invitation to reinvent herself. She felt the weight of every "I couldn't do it" that society tried to impose. But she also discovered the liberating power of saying, "I'm going to try, I'm going to achieve it." Instead of letting the inner voice that made her doubt her dominate her, she transformed that criticism into a powerful fuel. Each challenge overcome, each small step of action was a personal victory that reaffirmed her ability to change. Transforming excuses into action became a daily ritual for her. It wasn't enough to simply acknowledge her limits. She had to break through them, challenging herself to step out of her comfort zone. And in this process, life's lessons were not just abstract teachings, but practical tools to reprogram her mind. Beyoncé began to use each experience as a manual for success, understanding that excuses were shadows of the past, while action was the light that guided her future. The call to action here is clear and powerful. How many times have you allowed an excuse to stop you from achieving something extraordinary? Think of all the opportunities you've let slip by because you believed you couldn't. Just like Beyoncé, you now have the chance to transform each excuse into a step towards achievement. Stand up, challenge yourself, and transform "I can't" into "I will make it happen." By embracing this new mindset, Beyoncé has demonstrated that true strength lies in facing difficulties head-on and taking action, even when fear tries to paralyze you. She understood that personal transformation does not come from the passive desire to change, but from the active commitment to overcome each obstacle that stands in your way. Each action, no matter how small it may seem, is an investment in the future and a sign that you are willing to abandon the excuses that limit you. Imagine if everyone decided, just like her, to convert excuses into concrete actions. The world would become a place where inertia has no place, where everyone's potential is explored to the fullest, and where each obstacle becomes an opportunity for learning and evolution. This is the essence of life's lessons, transforming each justification into a step that takes you closer to your dreams. So I invite you to reflect. What was the last excuse you used to avoid a challenge? And now, what are you going to do to transform this justification into an impetus for action? Beyoncé made the choice to never again let excuses define her destiny, and you can too. Each small step, each decision to act, has the power to rewrite your story. I invite you to commit to this change today. Stand up, take a deep breath, and decide that you will no longer allow excuses to hold you back. Be inspired by Beyoncé's courage and life's lessons to transform your fears into motivation, your doubts into determination, and finally, your excuses into concrete actions. Share in the comments what excuse you decided to leave behind and what action you commit to taking right now. By doing so, you will not only strengthen your own journey, but also inspire others to seek the transformation they so desire. Change begins when you decide to take action, and the time is now. Transform your excuses into fuel for your victory, and show the world that you are ready to achieve everything you have ever dreamed of. Imagine Beyoncé on a stage where the spotlights witness not only her triumphs, but also every setback that propelled her forward. Before becoming the icon that inspires millions, she faced moments of profound vulnerability, where failure seemed to be the only way forward. It was precisely in these moments that life's lessons revealed themselves, teaching her that every mistake carries a vital lesson and that persistence is the engine that transforms difficulties into opportunities. At the beginning of her career, Beyoncé faced obstacles that seemed insurmountable. Each setback could have been seen as the end, but she chose to see failure differently. Instead of getting discouraged, she decided that failure would be her teacher, an opportunity to reevaluate, learn, and reinvent herself. This decision was a true emotional trigger. The pain of defeat was transformed into a flame of determination, driving her to rise stronger after each fall. Imagine that pivotal moment when, after a significant mistake, young Beyoncé was faced with a life-changing choice: to give up or to persist. It was at that moment that life's lessons showed her that there is no success without trying, and that true value lies in the courage to keep going, even when the road seems difficult. Every "I couldn't do it" was reinterpreted as a "I'll learn from this." Every obstacle a step toward excellence. The emotional triggers of this journey are intense. The feeling of helplessness when facing failure becomes a burning desire to overcome. The fear of not being enough becomes the conviction that each challenge makes her more prepared. Beyoncé understood that in order to grow, she had to embrace pain and transform it into strength. This mindset not only propelled her to achieve her goals, but also inspired millions of people to see failure as an essential component of the journey to success. Imagine the scene. After a setback that could have been devastating, Beyoncé, with her eyes full of determination, decides that she will not allow her mistake to define her destiny. She revisits each experience, learns from each setback, and uses these lessons to adjust her course. Each obstacle overcome is not only a personal victory, but a powerful reminder that persistence can transform the impossible into reality. Now, think for a moment. How many times have you let the fear of failure paralyze your actions? How many opportunities have you let slip by because you believed that making a mistake would be the end of the line? Just like Beyoncé, you can reverse this logic. True strength lies in getting up, learning from each mistake and moving forward with even more determination. Failure ceases to be a burden and becomes the cornerstone on which success is built. Life lessons teach us that the path to personal fulfillment is not linear. It is full of ups and downs, of moments when everything seems lost, but that, if faced with courage, can become opportunities for growth. It is in persistence, in the act of continuing even after defeats, that the essence of success is revealed. Each time you get up, you are proving to yourself that defeat does not have the power to define you. It only points you in a new direction for growth. Now, the call to action. Take a moment and reflect on the last time you faced failure. What did you learn from that experience? How can it drive you to be stronger and more determined? Just like Beyoncé, embrace each mistake as a lesson and use it to fuel your journey of overcoming. Get up, readjust your focus, and transform each obstacle into a step towards achieving your dreams. I invite you to share in the comments. What was the failure that, instead of knocking you down, became the impetus for your transformation? Your story could be the inspiration someone needs to persist and overcome their own challenges. Remember, true strength lies in continuing, in learning, and in never giving up, because the next chapter of your story depends on your ability to transform failure into victory. Now is the time to take action. Rewrite your narrative with courage and persistence. The journey may be arduous, but each step taken with determination paves the way for an extraordinary future. Transform your mistakes into learning experiences, your falls into rises, and allow life's lessons to be the light that guides your path to success. The power to change your story is in your hands. Start transforming every challenge into an opportunity for growth today. Imagine Beyoncé in a moment of deep introspection, where the weight of expectations and limiting beliefs seem to dictate her every move. In that crucial moment, she understood that the key to transforming her destiny lay in reprogramming her mind, a transformation that would go beyond the physical and external, reaching the depths of her being. With life lessons as her guide, she set out on a mission to deconstruct old paradigms and rebuild a mindset of success and authenticity. Beyoncé realized that often the most challenging barriers were not external, but internal. The beliefs that made her doubt her worth, the thoughts that limited her to a narrow view of her capabilities, all of these needed to be confronted and transformed. She understood that each negative thought and each doubt were, in fact, vestiges of an old mindset that no longer served her purpose of living fully. It was then that she decided it was time to break free from these limitations and rewrite her own internal narrative. Using life's lessons, Beyoncé began to identify and challenge every limiting belief that was holding her back from reaching her full potential. She embarked on a process of deep self-discovery, where she questioned every negative thought and replaced it with powerful, positive affirmations. This mental transformation didn't happen overnight. It was a constant effort, a daily battle against the remnants of the past. But each day she saw her mind expand, free itself, and align itself with the truth of who she really was. Picture this scene. Beyoncé sitting in a quiet space, perhaps in her creative studio, with her eyes closed, focusing on each breath, each thought that emerged. In this moment, she used life's lessons to meditate on her fears and doubts, acknowledging them but deciding not to let them define her. She understood that if her mind changed, her life would change too. If your mind changes, it takes your life in a different direction, echoed within her, reminding her of the power of a renewed mindset. Emotional triggers played a key role in this process. Every time she felt the shadow of fear or the inner voice that said, "You can't do it," she chose to respond with action and self-love. The feeling of empowerment when she confronted these thoughts was indescribable. It was as if every limiting belief was melted by the flame of her determination. This experience taught her that true growth begins in the mind. When you decide that you will no longer allow doubts and fears to control your destiny. And here is the call to action. Take a moment and reflect on the beliefs you have been carrying in your life. What thoughts are limiting you? What internal barriers are preventing you from reaching your full potential? Just like Beyoncé, you have the power to reprogram your mind, to transform every doubt into an opportunity to grow. Don't wait for change to come from the outside. It starts from within, with the decision to look at your thoughts, confront them, and replace them with a winning mindset. Imagine the freedom of living without the shackles of negative beliefs. Imagine having a mind so powerful and aligned with your true purpose that every decision becomes a step towards achieving your dreams. This is the essence of the transformation Beyoncé experienced, a journey of mental redefinition that not only took her to new heights, but also inspired millions to do the same. Now I invite you, what limiting belief are you ready to let go of today? What thoughts will you challenge to make room for a new mindset of success and authenticity? Share in the comments, what is the first step you intend to take in this internal reprogramming? Remember, change begins when you decide that your mind will be your greatest ally in building an extraordinary future. Rewrite your narrative with courage and persistence. Let life's learnings light your path and transform each challenge into an opportunity to reinvent yourself. Your mind is the key to unlocking your true potential, and the decision to change is in your hands. Don't wait any longer. Start redefining your mindset now and open the doors to a life full of achievements, self-knowledge, and above all, authenticity. Imagine Beyoncé at the height of her journey, where the spotlight dissolves to reveal the intensity of her authenticity. In this final chapter, lust is no longer understood as superficial desire, but as the profound pleasure of being genuine, a vibrant celebration of your true self. In a setting where every heartbeat echoes the lessons of life, she shows that the greatest luxury is not in ostentation or external approval, but in the power to love yourself without reservations and to live your own truth. Throughout her career, Beyoncé has transformed criticism into fuel, fear into courage, and above all, the standards imposed by society into invitations to freedom. Now she stands as a beacon of inspiration, revealing that being authentic is a revolutionary act. In her performance, every gesture and every note of her music tells a story of resilience, a story in which lust becomes the strength to embrace all the nuances of being, passion, vulnerability, and the boldness to show yourself to the world without masks. In this final moment, life's lessons manifest themselves with all their transformative power. Beyoncé invites us to look within and discover the pleasure that lies in the freedom to be exactly who we are. She reminds us that true luxury is not measured by what we have, but by who we are, and that every step taken towards authenticity is a step towards a full and inspiring existence. Feel the pulsating energy of this inner revolution. Imagine waking up every day with the certainty that, regardless of the obstacles, you have chosen to be true to yourself. Visualize a life where every decision is made with an open heart, where every challenge becomes an opportunity to reaffirm your identity. Beyoncé shows us that when you embrace your essence with all your intensity, you not only transform yourself, but also inspire a change that echoes around the world. The feeling is almost palpable. The pleasure of being authentic is like a refreshing breeze that sweeps away all doubt and external pressure. It's the conviction that you, like Beyoncé, are a work of art in constant evolution, unique, powerful, and undeniably valuable. This feeling, filled with passion and determination, is what makes the end of this journey so impactful. It challenges us to let go of illusions and other people's expectations and surrender to a new way of living, where each day is a celebration of your deepest self. Now the call to action is clear and irresistible. Stop for a moment and look within yourself. Ask yourself, what is stopping you from living with all the intensity and authenticity you deserve? What internal barriers are you ready to break down? Just like Beyoncé, you have the power to transform every fear into freedom and every criticism into motivation to be who you truly are. It's time to break free from the chains of doubt and conformity. It's time to embrace the joy of being authentic and transform your life into a masterpiece of courage, passion, and self-love. Stand up. Let every beat of your heart be a reminder of your inestimable worth, and write the next chapter of your story with determination. Share in the comments what living authentically means to you and how you intend to celebrate the luxury of being truly you. By committing to this transformation, you will not only change your life, but also become the inspiration the world so desperately needs. The truth is this: life is a journey of constant rewriting, and choosing to be authentic is the greatest act of rebellion you can commit. Allow life's lessons to light your path and discover the unparalleled joy of living without masks. The time is now. Break free, shine brightly, and make your authentic self your greatest achievement. The world is waiting to see your truth shine through.